The content that the guides want to talk about today is energetic overwhelm. And energetic overwhelm right now is a really big thing. And if I close my eyes, it's because I'm listening. I'm a visual um, interpreter. And so when the guides are showing me information, it's usually visual. So I close my eyes to see what they're showing me better. Okay. So that's why my eyes are closed. Today I'm not going to trance channel. I'll just translate channel or blended channel, which means that I'm interpreting what they're telling me. So they want to talk about energetic overwhelm. And energetic overwhelm is literally what it means. It means all of our energetic systems in our physical body are being overwhelmed by everything that they're being bombarded with right now. With information, with television, with social media, with crimes, with thoughts, with emotions, with other people's actions, with things that we disagree with things that we agree with just like everything is just big and loud right now. And because everything is big and loud, what happens is we are just basically a giant tuning fork. We are an energetic being in a flesh suit. Our flesh suit is not really equipped to handle all of these energetic fluctuations that we get during the day and at night. And so there's stuff in our environment, and then there's also the things that happen from living on a planet with other beings, meaning other beings that are in a body and other beings that are not in a body, right? All of that influences our energetic system. We can be walking through a store and feel, something's not right here. Or, this is my place, this is my happy place, I want to be here, right? We're picking up energetic resonances that are in those locations. We can watch the news and we can have situations that may trigger us from our own past, from past life triggers, even that come up and influence, cause a reaction within us that is also energy. Because remember, we're not just receiving energy, we're putting it out. And so, as this energetic tuning fork, we are constantly walking around attracting to us like resonances and repelling away from us unlike resonances. Okay, as a rule, generally that's how that happens. When we're in places and situations and thoughts and emotions and experiences that are not where we want to be, that are not aligned with our highest vibration that we're holding at the time, it can feel uncomfortable. It can feel like friction, right? It can feel yucky. And so, what we want to do in our experience, in our body, is we want to be able to identify when we're feeling friction or when we're feeling overwhelm, because those are two completely different things. And a lot of us assume we're just feeling friction, right? We're feeling out of sorts, we're feeling upset, we're feeling triggered because this is something I do not want in my experience. That is a valid thing that happens. But there's also this state of being where we are so full that we just can't take any more. And that fullness, if we don't deal with that, if we don't stop, I'm going to use the word decontaminate ourselves, right? Get rid of the stuff that no longer is serving us, right? Empty our bucket, clear out our energy field. If we don't do that and we're full, that's when we tip over into overwhelm. And then that's when we fall into our fight, flight, or freeze, right? Or fawn. fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, which causes us, when we're in the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, we're not responding based on our energetic integrity. We are responding based on our self-protective mechanisms. Okay? So if we freeze, we freeze. We sit on the couch, we do nothing. We don't make decisions, we don't make dinner, we do nothing. We check out, right? If we fight, right? We fight. We are in a constant state of feeling like we're having to fight every second of every day, right? And so forth. And so understanding the difference between incongruency, right? We're in a place that is not aligned with our highest vibration and who we want to be, versus I've got too much of the world in my energy field and I'm fixing to hit overwhelm. Because we do mistake those two things. And what happens is we avoid or ignore the overwhelm because we think, oh, well, it's just incongruent. I'm just working at a place that I don't like, for people I don't like, doing a job I don't like, because or until I find one I do. That is not the same as being full and overwhelmed. And so, how do you tell the difference? In the moment, when you're at work, when you're in the school line to pick up your kids, if you're sitting at home at dinner with your family, if you're just listening to the news, how do you know which one it is? Is this incongruency or is this overwhelm? Stop and think, what am I feeling? Am I feeling like I can't take one more thing? I just can't take one more thing. If that's your thought, then you're heading to overwhelm. If you're thinking or feeling, I don't like this, I don't want this, then that's the incongruency. Okay? Because you treat those things differently. For an incongruency, you acknowledge this is not aligned for me, and you either separate yourself from that experience or you work on separating yourself from that experience, meaning you start looking for another job. You don't quit automatically. You start looking for another job that is more aligned for you. Or you start getting ready to leave a marriage that is not aligned for you, right? You start doing the work. And so that takes a different level of mental and emotional resources than when you're in overwhelm. If you're in overwhelm, and you can even talk yourself out of it, you can gaslight yourself out of being in overwhelm by saying, gosh, I mean, nothing's really happening right now. I've just listened to the news, I've seen this stuff, I've done my shadow work, I'm not really triggered on this stuff. I don't know why I feel shut down. I don't know why I feel like I just don't want to deal with all of this anymore. I don't understand, right? Overwhelm literally means you have overwhelmed your circuits. You have overwhelmed your ability to properly function. That includes properly think, properly feel, properly eat, properly act, right? Properly do things or not do things. You have overwhelmed yourself to the point of potentially short-circuiting. Short-circuiting is the same thing as burnout, right? We've all experienced some form of burnout. And so in this time right now, the step one is acknowledging, am I just in an incongruent place? If it's incongruent, I need to remove myself from this. Take a break. If it's just the news, you're just stressed from all of the toxic stuff that's happening. Take a break, decompress, journal, hydrate, take a walk, get therapy, take action, right? You move yourself out of this incongruent state of being into more authenticity and congruence for yourself. That's how you solve that. When you're in overwhelm, it's a completely different thing. You go internal. You decide, I'm going to take care of me. And what does me need? What do I need? I need peace and quiet. Okay? Go sit on the porch. Go for a walk. Look out at the mountains or the ocean or a painting or do some art or use your hands to create something. And also create a practice for yourself where you have a daily dumping. Okay? Now, what I mean by daily dumping is dump all the unnecessary energetic yuck that you have picked up during the day. Do a dump before bed. And that can be something as simple as when you're getting in bed or you put your pajamas on. And you just do, when you're changing your clothes, right? You take off your day clothes, you put on your night clothes. Then just dump out into, I have like a cauldron, like a golden cauldron that has a violet flame in it. And I just stand in that golden cauldron and just like dump everything that no longer serves me. All the thoughts, emotions, words, actions, all the agreements that I made that I didn't really mean energetically, any sacrifices that I made, any misaligned thoughts about a person or a judgment about a person, anything that came from a state of being that was not grounded, that was not aware, that was not conscious, something I didn't choose on purpose, that I just chose because of past patterns, right? I let all of that go. And I make a mental note if it was between another person and there's a misunderstanding, tomorrow I need to have that conversation. But I'm dumping everything that no longer serves me because I don't want to go to bed with all that nonsense. It doesn't help me sleep. It's not going to help you sleep. Okay? It's clutter. So let that violet flame burn all of that stuff out, clean you out, free up your energetic resources, and then insert some gratitude. And all those empty spaces now, fill it up with gratitude. Start thinking about things you're grateful for. And if you can't think of anything, think about, I'm grateful that I have the ability to be grateful. And just start there. I'm grateful I have a pillow. I'm grateful I have a bed. I'm grateful I have a roof over my head. Start wherever you are. And just be in gratitude and fill those spaces up with gratitude. So that when you go to bed and you're ready for your nighttime, that has its own, I'm going to say energetic resources. It has its own experience that's not cluttered by all the nonsense of the day. Okay? And then at sleep, do your sleep time. And when you wake up, if you remember your dreams, if you don't remember your dreams, if you astral travel, if you don't, right? Any of that doesn't matter. But you can say, anything I agreed to that's not in my highest good while I was during this nighttime, I void all of those agreements, which means they don't exist anymore. I return any gifts that were given to me without my conscious approval. And I step into this day fully and deeply grounded, autonomous, and energetically sovereign. I step into my knowing and I enjoy my day clear and aware, present and grounded. Now, you can say whatever you want to in all of that. And I want to circle back. So, why do I say or release any contracts or avoid any contracts or agreements that I made when I was sleeping, and I return any gifts? Because, and you'll find out as we continue to move along, in our sleep time and in between awake and asleep, we can still be impacted by negative entities and negative energies. So they're not just for the daytime, they're also for the nighttime. And sometimes we can simply accept something in a dream that is not really what it seems to be. Meaning, it could be a negative agreement. It could be something that's going to kick back on you and provide negative karma. It could be something that where you gave your power away to another person or another being or another energy or a pattern or a thought form, right? And we are kind of vulnerable when we sleep because we're not in our conscious mind. And so that's why in the morning you want to revoke all of that stuff just in case it happened. Okay, not saying it did, but you will find when you start paying attention that holy smokes, that's what happened. My ex showed up in my dream and I agreed to blah, 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 which is an old pattern that I used to do to get him to be quiet or get him to stop being mean to me. And look there, I did it again and I did it in my sleep. And then you go, nope, avoid that. You don't just revoke it. I revoke my agreement and permission for that, but I avoid it. And void means it is as if it never existed. Okay? And that's what you want to do. You want to avoid it. And any energy that you lost from that, you can call that energy back. And it's crystal clean and clear when it returns to you. Any energy that was given to you, you want to give back, right? And those are for more complicated things where, like, you wake up and you know, oh gosh, in my dream, I had this experience, right? That's when you go through that process. On the general, just say, I revoke anything that I agreed to during the night, avoid any agreements, and I return any gifts. Because we only want to accept and agree to things that we are fully aware of the karmic consequences and our responsibilities and obligations therein, right? We want to know the terms and conditions. And so we want to do those in our conscious mind. Now, I will say, we make a ton of agreements when we're in our daily life we don't even know we're making. We make agreements with coworkers, subconscious, unconscious agreements, with neighbors, with people that we're driving on the interstate with people we're in the grocery store with, right? There are a lot of unconscious societal agreements that we already participate in. Those are fine as long as they're not hurting you or anybody else. But sometimes we get in situations where we're making these agreements and they're detrimental either to us or to the other person. Like at work, if we have this unconscious agreement, contract, if you will, that we made with a coworker where we do all the work and they take all the credit for it, even though it pisses us off and we don't want to, we're still showing up for that pattern that we've agreed to. We agreed to do it, otherwise it wouldn't be happening. And so the more that you work with awareness, the more you understand that we are in a constant give and take with the universe around us, with the world around us, with the people, with the environment around us, the more you're going to understand why sometimes at the end of the day you feel so exhausted, even when you don't think you did anything today. It's because you had to navigate all these social contracts in your day and your work day. You had to navigate all of these subconscious patterns that you've lived with for a year, a decade, a lifetime, multiple lifetimes. And you're also dealing with all of this stuff that is happening in the political arenas, in the governments, in um, I'll just name it, in the Epstein files. All of that stuff is bringing up so much that has to be brought up because it has to come up to come out, right? We can't keep it buried anymore. It has been on the planet for ages, and legions of people have been involved in this since the beginning of time. It is evil. It's horrible. It has no place in a just world, and it is in no way any part of divine light. And we are right now in the place where this ancient aspect is not only being unearthed, because it's been unearthed before. Like, people have known this stuff exists and has been happening for thousands and tens of thousands of years, right? This is not new. People have known about it. It's just there hasn't been the there hasn't been enough adults on the planet to oppose it in a way to actually end it. I want to say that again. Up until now, meaning we have it now, up until now, there has not been enough adults on the planet who can actually end this. Now, that can create, in me, that creates a sense of relief, a sense of hopefulness, a sense of inspiration in keep going. We're not going to surrender. We're not going to let this go. We're going to keep moving because this is not acceptable, and we will not have this exist on the same planet we are on anymore. It's not going to happen. And hopefully that's what it brings up for you. If it brings up anything else for you, you may want to get some therapy, talk to somebody about that, because you may be being triggered by things that have been your lived experience. And you don't want to ignore that. You want to be healthy and handle that in a healthy way. And so the understanding that now is the time. This is the time that we were born for. People have all these ideas about, oh, well, this is, we're here for the war between dark and light, and they think it's going to be, Vikings on horses and Valkyries on horses with swords, and things are going to be happening in the astrals, and that's where it's going to happen. There is stuff happening there, and it will happen there until it's concluded. We're humans. We have to handle this on the human plane with human ways. And so that means all of these people that have been doing all of these evil things have to be brought to justice. This methodology, I'm going to call it, this evil methodology that has taken place on the planet has to be rooted out and destroyed. And people say, oh, well, destruction is negative. We don't destroy, we love and light. Not in the human world. That is not how it works here. You can't high vibrate yourself to the point where you change evil. It's not how it works. Evil is evil. It's evil. Now, they have a choice to change who they are and come into the light, and that's their choice. But you don't just ignore it, and you don't just light wash everything, and you don't just pray love and light over it. No. You stop it. You take a stand. You draw a line. You say, here, no further. No further. We're done. Not happening anymore. And there is a holy rage that comes up. And on the other side of that holy rage is the understanding that this is the fight between good and evil. And I am not going to allow evil to win. Not going to happen. Now you feel that. There's no anger. There's no resistance. There's no friction. It just is. It is. And so all of the things then that have to happen in order for this evil to be eradicated from the earth, I'm going to start paying attention to those. That means talking to those that are in power that can create justice. Talking to those, calling them, the senators, the government officials, where we can pray for them that they have courage, that they have clarity, that they understand their purpose in this moment, that they have the courage to do their purpose, right? Those kind of things. But again, that's a personal choice for those people. They get to choose whether they're going to stand up in that moment. And if they're not, then we get to vote them out for somebody who will stand up and do what's right and make sure that justice is served. That means all these people that have done all these terrible things, they need to go to prison. And if they're already dead, they need to be tried in absentia. And their estates need to make recompense for that. When the president leaves the planet, and he will, we all do, when he leaves the planet, his estate needs to be responsible to make recompense for all the damage that he has done. That's justice. Just because you die doesn't mean you've completed the karmic cycle. He's going to have to deal with all of his karmic nonsense that he's created for himself. All the evil that is here is doing evil because it enjoys it, because it is aligned for them. Remember, they're doing their highest good. They're doing their highest good. The most evil you can do is the most evil that you can do. And it makes them happy, and they're on their path. They're being authentic. And so expecting somehow that they are suddenly going to see the light and change their wicked ways and confess and make amends, will that happen? Maybe 1% of the time. Allow for it to happen, but also know they are expert bullshitters. And so understand that as we're moving through this fight between dark and light, this evil versus the good in parentheses, we're walking this through. That means justice must be served. So whoever comes in to handle the justice needs to actually be able to handle the justice. It can't be covered up. It can't be ignored, right? All of this stuff has to have resolution, and it has to be known on all the dimensions and all the layers of the earth plane, that behavior is not acceptable on planet Earth and will not exist here ever again. And it's not negotiable. And so that's how we're going to get rid of all the negativity, all of this patriarchy nonsense, because we are called right now to get rid of this evil underbelly. Because remember, patriarchy is about power over anything that is not male, right? So part of this evil underbelly is men having power over children, not just girl children, boy children too, and women and men. And it's a power struggle that has been happening. The problem is we've not been struggling with the powerful. We've just been letting them do whatever they wanted to do, and that's not okay. And that's what we're tearing ourselves away from. That's why it feels so painful. Is we're literally ripping our energy, our energetic resources away from all of these horrible things that we've ignored or were oblivious to, and that some people participated in. And so coming to grips with the fact that we are on a planet with other human beings that do these horrible, 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 evil things, that is in addition to the horrible, evil sexual abuse that they've done. And know that we live on the same planet with people that do that. And we are ruled by people who do this stuff. We begin to understand more about how they can make laws and rules that are completely dispassionate about the poor and the sick and the needy, because they literally do not respect humanity at all. And once you begin to understand that these are not just human beings, these are human beings that have created or participated in agreements with negative beings, negative entities, with evil, so that they can perpetuate all of these cycles on the human earth plane, then you realize this is the fight. It's not person to person, just person to person. It's also dark and light, because people will not do all of these evil things without evil itself. Just like people will not do light things without light itself. We would just be neutral beings. We're here to be in between and make choices between the dark and the light. We are on earth plane to play out this dance between day and light, day and night, evil and good, light and dark. We're playing out all of that. And it's time now for us to move into, we're done. This trench of unholy evilness is not going to exist on the earth plane anymore. And there are enough adult humans on the planet right now to make that choice, that we're not going to have this here anymore. It's just going to require all of us standing up and saying, no, I'm not doing it anymore. We have to vote for the people that are going to stop it. That's all elected officials all the way through our governments. That means holding their feet to the fire and replacing them if they don't, and not waiting 4 years to replace them. Recall them now. If they've been in for 3 months or 6 months and they are not doing anything and it's obvious they're not going to, recall them. Get somebody else in there new. Change the rules if you have to, meaning get people, elect officials on the boards that make the rules, and change the rules if you need it. Because that's what evil has done. They have played the long game. Again, this stuff has been happening for tens of thousands of years on the planet. It's not new. And it's not going to go without a fight. And our fight is no, it's not happening. We're not doing this anymore. We're done. And then ensuring that every single person who is participating in it stops. Period. It's not negotiable. They have to stop. One way or another. They stop. They unsubscribe from life, or they go to prison. But it stops. It is not welcome here anymore. And so a lot of our overwhelm that we're feeling is because we don't know what to do with all this. We know, okay, I know I don't want to be in this, I don't want to have this experience on the planet. What do I do? And that's what we do. That's why voting is so important. That's why even voting on midterms is so important. Checking out the people, making sure that they're not only qualified, but that they are making the commitments to do what needs to be done and not continue the status quo. Anybody who's continuing the status quo means they agree with this underbelly of evil. They've decided that it's okay for that evil to exist. They are not the ones to help us get to the other side. So vote. I'm in North Carolina. Early voting is now. So if you, wherever you are, find out, research candidates, go vote. Because we need to get the right people on the ballots in November so that moving forward, we can actually get stuff done. Because as it is right now, we all know nothing is going to be done. Because all the people in charge, not all, but the majority of the people in charge are okay. They're either doing this or they're okay with it being done. And we got to change that. So acknowledge the overwhelm when it comes up. Do your daily dumps, like energy dumps. Get rid of everything that no longer serves you every day. Put on your energetic bubbles, right? Protect yourself. I've done lots of classes and contents on those. And don't take on overwhelm because you can't help anybody if you're burnt out. So what do? Do what you can do, meaning stay centered, stay grounded, make authentic choices that are for you, work through that righteous anger onto the other side of decision. Right? I have decided this is not going to exist on the planet that I live on. It's not. And I will do whatever it takes to eradicate it from the planet. Now, that is authentic for me and my sole purpose, right? I'm not going to go and do things that would be misaligned to that, right? Meaning, I'm not going to go up and electrocute them all, right? That's not it. But justice, I will campaign for them all, even the enablers, even the ones who sweep it under the rug, even the ones who divert attention away from it, all of them receive justice. And that feels good to me. That feels aligned for me. And I'll call in the guides and the angels and ask for justice to be served every single day. May justice thrive. May justice thrive in this experience. Justice. And I keep calling it in and calling it in. And I'm voting for judges who are going to bring not only, I'm going to say, reestablish justice, right? Because the laws already exist. We just need people to enforce them. I'm voting for school board members and insurance commissioners and senators and representatives and all of the people that are going to uphold justice and fair play. And you may say, oh, fair play, that means nope. Fair play is everybody, every human being is valuable and deserves to be treated as such. And if you can't do that, you're on the wrong side of this battle. Because it is a battle. And it's a battle that right now is being won by the evil side because they are providing overwhelm. They are doing everything they can to hit us mentally, emotionally, physically, energetically with as much overwhelming chaos as possible because that's how they thrive. And so, as grounded as you can stay, as centered as you can stay, as dropped down into your integrity and sovereignty and authenticity as you can be, the better. Every day, every morning, ground yourself, clear out anything that you agreed to during the night that's not aligned with your highest soul purpose. Put on your bubbles of protection. Ground yourself, connect to your guides, your helpers, to source, to your higher self, to your self. And then in the end of the day, do the same thing. Connect to yourself, make sure you're in your body, release everything that doesn't serve you, set your parameters, and sleep well. And know that this battle is not negotiable. This is the battle of our time. Is this eradicating this evil? Are we actually going to eradicate it this time? Or are we just going to turn away and let it continue? I'm not for that. So, overwhelm, you don't need it. It's not helpful. Take care of you. Take care of you. Because you can't fight the good fight if you're burnout or overwhelmed. So, this is our chat for today. I'm sorry it kind of went there. That's where it went. These lives are going to be different every week. A lot of them are going to be based on your questions, so please make sure that you leave your questions below. They will be on the Tamala Channel's YouTube channel. So make sure you go over there and subscribe, sign up for notifications. I'm going to do these every Wednesday. If there's a certain time of the day that is better for you to come on live, put that in the comments on Wednesday. Let me know, and let me know what time zone you're in, so I'll know how to calculate that for myself. And we're going to figure this out. We're going to do what needs to be done because this is not negotiable. We're not doing this anymore. Okay? Overwhelm is a ploy. It's how they keep us from seeking justice. Don't surrender to overwhelm. Don't let them use that as a tool against you anymore. Stay grounded, stay cleared, right yourself so you can help us fight. I love you, and I'll see you next time.